is Black Sheep? Our first look at the story, characters, and world.
Black Sheep isn't a story about heroes or villains. In fact, villains don't exist in this world. It's about what happens when you grow up inside of a legacy that doesn't want you to change it. If you're new here, this video is your introduction to Black Sheep. If you're returning, well, welcome back. I'm going to walk you through what the story is about, the world it lives in, the characters at the center of it, and why this project has stayed with me for years. This isn't a spoiler-heavy breakdown, rather think of it as a guided entry point into the world. What Black Sheep is at its core. At its heart, Black Sheep is a story about identity. It's about being born into a system and realizing that surviving inside it might cost you who you are. The story explores belonging versus independence, legacy versus self-definition, silence, secrecy, and the pressure to conform. This isn't fast-paced action. It's slow, tense, and deeply character-driven. The wonderful world of Black Sheep. Black Sheep takes place in a grounded world, one that feels familiar,
but it's slightly off.
The setting is built around old institutions that hold power quietly, communities shaped by tradition and unspoken rules, a history that is remembered selectively. This world runs on reputation, loyalty, and appearance. What matters isn't just what you do, it's how well you perform the role you're given. And if you don't fit that role, the world doesn't punish you loudly, it isolates you. Here's the central conflict. The main conflict of Black Sheep isn't a single event, it's pressure. The pressure to carry something you didn't choose, the pressure to stay silent in order to survive, the pressure to become acceptable instead of authentic. Every character responds to that pressure differently, some by obeying it, some by reshaping it, and some by breaking under it. Now we talk about the protagonists. At the center of Black Sheep are multiple characters who have always been slightly out of step with the world around them. They are observant, reserved, and often underestimated. They understand the rules, but they don't believe in them the way others do. Being labeled a Black Sheep isn't something they choose. It's something placed on them early and it follows them everywhere. Their journey isn't about overthrowing the system overnight. It's about deciding whether they can exist inside it without disappearing.
Cue Benjamin Jack and Hunter McGillis.
Two single 23-year-old college students living in Detroit. After their friend LaToya, a 23-year-old Black American woman, goes missing, they are forced to investigate her disappearance themselves. They raise hell trying to get answers. They call, they push, they beg, but they watch as cases involving other women receive immediate media attention, community search parties, and public sympathy, while LaToya's disappearance is treated as disposable. They pay people, they do humiliating favors, they exhaust every connection they have just to get her story acknowledged. Instead of help, they're warned. They're told to let it go before their reputation around the city is ruined, before people consider them to be nuisances. Both are Black Sheep in their own right. Hunter, who was quietly exploring his sexuality, and Benjamin, who was raised in poverty within a capitalist system that never gave him room to fail. Here are two character highlights. To understand Black Sheep, it helps to look at two characters who represent opposite ways of surviving the same world, beginning in present-day Detroit.
We'll start with Antonimus.
Antonimus is the emotional center of the story, the anti-hero. He was labeled early not because he did something wrong, but because he never fit what was expected of him. He is observant, quiet, and constantly aware of how his bride is perceived. He notices that others ignore the pauses in conversations, the rules no one explains, the way silence is used as a warning. What makes Antonimus dangerous isn't rebellion, it's his awareness and his ability to outsmart people who believe they are always 10 steps ahead. He understands the system well enough to see its cracks, but not well enough to feel protected by it. Because his bride is a woman of color, he is forced to protect both of them from constant unspoken danger. His struggle isn't about destroying the world he lives in, even though he is angry at it and willing to run amok when pushed. It's about deciding whether he can stay without losing himself. The second character highlight
is the old man.
The old man represents what the world claims to reward. He follows the rules, he respects traditions, he believes survival comes from obedience and patience, and yet the system has failed him at every turn. He loses his pension, his house burns to the ground, he receives threats. Still, he lives, cautioning anyone who will listen. Unlike the protagonist, he doesn't question the system. Not because he's cruel, but because he believes stability matters more than truth. He has learned that asking fewer questions keeps you safe, that silence can be loyalty, and that protecting a flawed legacy is safer than risking collapse. His tension with the protagonist isn't hatred, it's fear. Fear of change, fear of disruption, fear of what happens when someone refuses to stay quiet. Together, these characters pose the central question of Black Sheep. Do you survive by fitting in or by refusing to disappear? I'd also like to quickly talk about the key supporting characters. The supporting characters in Black Sheep aren't background figures. They represent different ways of surviving the same environment. Some characters fully believe in the system and defend it, quietly benefit from it while pretending they don't, know it's broken but are too afraid to challenge it. Every relationship tests the protagonist in different ways. Loyalty, trust, fear, and love are always at stake. No one is purely right or wrong. Everyone is compromised by the world they live in. Dara Barr, LaToya's college dorm mate, was one of her closest friends. They did almost everything together when the boys weren't around. Dara was the last person to see LaToya before she disappeared. Although she actively helps with the investigation, she believes LaToya is already gone. To her, continued search feels like false hope. She believes it's a done deal, and that nothing anyone does will bring LaToya back. Power and silence. One of the most important elements of Black Sheep is how power operates. Power here isn't loud, it's inherited, it's protected through silence. People don't always say what they mean. They imply, warn, and withhold. Charles Bagley, a retired Michigan lawyer turned Detroit news anchor, embodies this power. On camera, he is giddy, charming, and exaggerated, the perfect anchor personality. Off camera, he is cold and difficult. As a privileged man, LaToya's disappearance means nothing to him. More importantly, he understands his audience doesn't care either. Covering her story risks viewers. Losing viewers risks money, and losing money risks his job. So he does what the system expects. And the most dangerous thing a character can do in this world isn't rebel loudly, it's ask the wrong question. Some themes that you'll see are repeated throughout the story. As the story unfolds, certain ideas keep resurfacing. What does it cost to belong? Who gets to rewrite history and who gets erased? Is survival the same thing as freedom? Black Sheep doesn't rush to answer these questions. It lets them sit and grows uncomfortable. Why does this story matter to me? I didn't truly set out to write a story like this. As my mother would say, it was on my heart to write something as complex as Black Sheep. But over time, I realized Black Sheep was holding ideas I didn't know how to say directly, about identity, expectation, and being shaped by things you never choose. The longer I work on it, the more the story evolves alongside me. That's why it's still in progress.
What is a Black Sheep becoming? Right now, Black Sheep is a developing narrative. It's still being refined, rewritten, and deepened. The world is clearer, the characters are sharper, the stakes feel more personal, and the story is moving toward a place where silence can't protect everyone anymore.
And this is where I invite the viewers, both new and returning. This is what you should expect going forward. If you follow this project, you'll see character deep dives, expanding world building, process updates as the story continues to evolve. Black Sheep isn't a quick answer, it's about slow realizations. This was your introduction to Black Sheep, the world, the conflict, and the people caught inside of it. And if any of this felt familiar, uncomfortable, or quietly tense, then that's the point. If you would like to follow me on this journey and learn more about the book and its branding, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and follow my card to find my Instagram, my Etsy shop, and different ways to contact me. I will see you in the next video.